Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Alexandria Monge, your realtor, and I'm happy to be here again this week. I know I do recordings live every Wednesday. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but thank God I've been quite busy and showing properties, and that's what real estate is about. I'm giving some time to see if some people tune in. And I think I mentioned it on Wednesday that I would be talking about starting with your first real estate investment. Walter, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido. I know you're from Colombia, and welcome to the program that I do every week. Well, anyway, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking today about starting off with your first real estate investment. And by the way, I'm sure that many of you are probably asking yourselves, okay, where is she? Because I usually do these recordings in the office, but today is Friday. Yes, today is Friday. And I'm here at the marina. You guys can see all the boats later on over there. I'll just pass over there to get a nice, cool fruit drink. This is what Miami life is about, and it's here to enjoy beautiful sunset. And I'm not going to take really long because the sun is going down and I have to take my car out before the sun falls. So anyway, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about starting off with our first real estate investment. And I don't know, can you hear me? Walter, ¿tú me puedes escuchar? Si me puedes escuchar, me puedes dar un like. ¿Me escuchas? I just want to be sure that you can listen to me. Okay? Can you listen to me? ¿Me puedes escuchar? Can you hear me? Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, we're going to start off with what does it take to start off with our first real estate investment. Many people nowadays, besides having their own property, they want to go ahead and start off with an investment because they're thinking later on their retirement, maybe this property that they invest in. Angel, bienvenido. Thank you, my friend. I'm not sure if you're in New York, but anyway, welcome to the program. Anyway, as I was saying, so many people are looking towards investing or starting off with their first real estate investment because they're thinking on the long run, maybe this property later on they can sell it and, use it for the retirement, or they can use it as a cash flow, to get cash flow as an income producing property. So there's many things that that I personally advise when you're going to start off with your first real estate investment property. And there's certain things that you have to take into consideration. One of them, make sure you do your homework, okay? Because the other day I had a lady call me from Colombia. She was asking me, hey Alex, I was referred to you. I understand you're knowledgeable in the real estate industry. What do you recommend? I live here, but I want to buy a property in Miami. And I said, okay, that's fine. Well, the first question was, what is the purpose of your investment, right? And she mentioned, okay, well, I want to have a property that produces income for me, okay? I'm not going to live the property. I just want to get some cash flow and have it there. Maybe later on I decide to go live in Miami or whatever, and I'll just have it there. So that's the first thing. You need to determine what is the purpose of your investment. Is it for maybe later on for retirement, or are you using it for the purpose of obtaining cash flow on a monthly basis? Okay, then you need to do your homework and find out what area. Chichi, bienvenida, my friend. Long time didn't see you. Then you need to determine, okay, what area is it that you want to invest? Miami is big, okay? And it's not only Miami-Dade, it's also Broward. So it depends. If you want a property, you want to invest in a property that rents like right away, you need to make sure you do your homework. Lily, bienvenida. You want to make sure you do your homework and look for a property that is very well located, where the moment that you put it out there in the market, it's going to rent like right away, okay? And this is close to schools. Ingrid, bienvenida, my friend. Thank you for watching. You want to make sure it's probably close to schools, maybe next to shopping centers, close to certain main highways. Why? Because once you buy that property, the days start counting. The countdown starts. So once you fix it up or, put the little cosmetic stuff around the property, inside the property, Well, you want to make sure that once you put it out there in the market, it rents right away. As an experience, and one of the people that are watching actually used to be one of my tenants, and say if not, I was a good landlord, because I used to be a very good landlord, but I got tired a little bit. It's not that easy dealing with tenants, you know, and I had very, you know, good experience with the majority of them, but now my mentality has changed a little, and I'm more looking towards the type of investment where I can buy something that maybe it's a foreclosure, or maybe, yeah, that it's a short sale, and I could just flip it around fast, and I just made $40,000-$50,000 on a property. But not everybody has the possibility of counting with a certain amount of cash to go ahead and buy a property cash, you know, and then flip it. So you do your homework, you look for the property. I'm sorry, for the location. Okay, let's say you already made your decision on the location. You said, you know what, I want, let's say, the Doral, for example. The Doral because, you know, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of office people, and even though traffic is jammed all the time, but when you put out a property for rent, it goes right away. And the rental rates are currently high. Okay, so I have someone, for example, I rented a condo 3 years ago, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $1,500. Then they call me and say, hey, can you find me another property, you know, maybe a 2-2 or 1-1, because I don't need a 3-2. And I said, you know what, my friend, you're better off staying where you are, because you're paying $1,500 for the 3-bedroom. You know what? That's what's going to cost you a 1-bedroom at this moment. Believe it or not, a 1-bedroom, $1,500 in the Doral. Okay, if you want in a nice gated community. Jesse, thank you for watching. Sandra, thank you for watching. If you want something in a very nice community, right? So, okay, you decided your area, your location. Next step, before you put an offer, before you negotiate that property, look at the taxes. Remember that if you're looking to get cash flow from that property, you want to try to maintain your expenses the lowest as possible. So you say, you looked at a property, you start looking, okay, this property pays $1,000 a year versus another one that pays $1,500. Well, you try to balance it out, choose the best location, the best property that is in well condition, and the less taxes that it pays, the more cash flow you're going to get in a monthly basis. So you got taxes out of the way. If it's a condo that you're investing, or a townhouse, most likely it's going to have a homeowners association. So if you're you're investing on the property to get cash flow, well, obviously you're going to try to see or make sure that the monthly maintenance of that property is as low as possible. Okay, now you have all that squared away. What is your next step? Basic math. Okay, let me tell you, and this is a secret, well, not a secret, because I know Facebook is watching. I was never good in math when I was at the university doing business. Okay, but you know, the algebra, calculus, geometry, none of that. I was not good at that, but I was very good in the part of finance. And that's what matters in real estate. As long as you know your numbers in the financial field, you're okay. So you need to find out basic math, okay? So, and what is the basic math when you're doing investments? You're going to start out by saying, okay, this is going to be the price of my property, okay? These are going to be the operating expenses on a monthly basis. And when I say operating expenses, is how much is your mortgage going to be? Juliana from Orlando, bienvenida. Thank you for watching. How much is your mortgage going to be? Let's say you bought an example, $100,000 property, a condo, and your mortgage is going to be $800. Let's say your association is going to be $200. Right there, you already have $1,000 between mortgage and homeowners association, okay? And then let's say that's $1,000. That's your operating expense, your monthly expenses for that property. Now let's say that you rent that property out for $1,600, okay? So you said, okay, well, the gross income, the monthly income for that property, the net income for that property, the gross, because you haven't taken out the expenses yet, is $1,600, and you take off the $1,000, which is the operating expenses, like, you know, the mortgage, and you're going to take out the HOA. Juan Carlos, my brother-in-law from Virginia, welcome for watching. Thank you for watching. So you're going to take off the mortgage, $800, $200 of the HOA, that's $1,000, and you're going to deduct it from the $1,600 that you are obtaining of the rent. So that leaves you with the net of $600. That is your cash flow. okay? But one thing very important, before you buy this investment property, try to buy a property that does not require so much repairs, for example, that you can do a little cosmetic. Let's say if it's the kitchen and you need to change the countertops because they already have Formica countertops. Okay, well, you know what? You can put new Formica countertops and it's not going to be that expensive, okay? Or just make sure that the bathrooms, you don't have to change the whole bathroom, because then it's not going to be worth it. Little things. Always set a little bit of money aside from the cash flow that you're obtaining for repairs. God forbid, the tenant calls you, says, look, I have a leak, this and that. You're going to have to fix it. So you need to have a little budget on a monthly basis for those little repairs on that investment property, okay? So your cash flow is going to be, let's say, after you've taken all the expenses, you have $600, okay? And you multiply that by 12, and that's going to be your income for that property, which is not bad. Usually, I know by experience that any investor that is able to get at least a 10% return on their investment, it's great. It's going to be always better than what the bank gives you. That's the reality. So that's one, okay? You learn to do that. And then remember, you don't know if this is going to be the first. Noides, bienvenido, mi amigo. I know you're in Colombia. You don't know if this is going to be the first or the one of many. That's the airplane here in the back. Okay, you don't know if that's going to be one of the many properties you're going to be buying in the market. So make sure that the moment that you start renting out this property, keep all your receipts, learn to be organized, keep all your receipts of expenses, of repairs that you do, keep all your receipts of, the payments, in your bank statements, keep them all in order. So you can give them at the end of the year to your accountant and be able to deduct whatever you can deduct, because I'm not an accountant. And if you are planning to have more properties, then you're probably better off thinking of, addressing this situation to an attorney and maybe putting, maximum 3 properties under a LLC, okay, which is a type of corporation that many investors use in order to protect their investment. And usually, sometimes they even do a LLC per property, and that's to avoid for them having a personal liability over their personal assets. So maybe if you just bought the first one and you're planning to buy more, then I probably suggest you see an attorney so they can, explain to you what an LLC is and why is it beneficial for you. And your assets, your personal assets are going to be protected, because actually if someone, and remember, we're here in Florida, where the state of Florida, unfortunately, is where the most fraud there is, and so many lawsuits. Everybody's trying to sue you for whatever. So, you want to make sure that maybe you put each property under an LLC, and if the property, let's say it's worth $200,000, well, that's the maximum amount that they would be able to sue you for the amount of the value of that property, okay, or the assessed value. So that's something that maybe as an investor you would want to look for, okay? Another thing, you're in an investment world of real estate. Learn the lingo. Yes, learn the lingo. Why? Because when you're going to go out there and you're going to start negotiating with another investor, you don't want to look silly. You don't want to ask the other investor, hey, what is the size of the cap rate? No. You don't want to do that. So get familiarized with the lingo of real estate. What's the cap rate for this property? Okay, what would be my net income? Okay, what would be the operating expenses? Get familiar with the lingo when you are deciding to go into the real estate world for the purpose of investing, okay? And ultimately, what I would recommend is also, once you have this property ready and going, even though you take a little bit more of time to rent it out, make sure you try to get some good tenants, because at the end of the day, it's worth it. You don't want to go ahead and just rent it to the first person that comes along. You want to make sure you do your homework, at least that the people that are going to rent your investment property have a steady job and a steady income, because that at the end of the day is going to avoid many headaches for you. Somebody, and I know not everybody can avoid maybe losing their job, but if a tenant comes and tells you, look, I've been working in the same company for the past 2 or 3 years, you already know that at least that person has a certain guarantee that they will be able to pay you on a timely basis every month, okay? And also look that make sure when their credit report, you know, as an investor, you want to make sure that the tenant that you're going to have, hopefully for more than a year, you know, that is a person that doesn't have too much debt, because then God forbid something happens, and guess what? The first one that they're going to cut off is maybe your rent, okay? And last advice, because the sun is going down and I have to go get my car out. Make sure, sorry, a call came in. Make sure, if you have a good tenant, and I know one of you guys that are watching used to be one of my tenants. If you have a tenant and they've been in your property for 2 years, you know, I mean, don't make such a high increase. And when I had my tenants, 2 years would pass by and they were great tenants. The most that maybe I would increase was like $50, $60 for those 2 years. And then I would let another 2 years pass by, and then I would do another increase. But you know, some people just get so greedy, and you know, a year passes by and all of a sudden they just want to go ahead and increase your rent for $100. No, I prefer as an investor to have a steady tenant, a great tenant that takes care of the property, and that, you know, doesn't feel you know, that I'm trying to tighten all his strings. No, that's not the idea. I prefer for the property to be well taken care of. And that way you're going to have steady tenants. Okay. So I hope this information was helpful. Guys, I have to go. It's getting dark, and today was short. I'll see you next Wednesday. Again, not Friday, Wednesday. Unfortunately, all these days I was pretty busy showing properties. But next Wednesday, at 7:30 p.m. Tune in with Alexandria Moje, your realtor. Oh, by the way, if you guys live in Miami, you know I've posted this flyer. We're going to be doing this first time buyer free seminar on March 11th from 10 to 11 a.m. That is a Saturday. We're going to have somebody that works with credit repair. We're going to have a person that represents a lender. So if you're in the process of buying your first property and you're clueless of what you're doing, you're the one that has to be in that seminar. Remember, March 11th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we're going to be talking about the whole purchasing process. If you have issues with your credit, don't be afraid. We're here to help. Okay. So take care and God bless. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.